Hello, live long and prosper. This is Chief Little Prong. This is the third episode of Cooking with the Chief, and as promised, this is going to be my world's best chocolate chip cookie recipe, and which I think is the best cookie in the world, or at least the best cookie if you had to pick one in North America. I've been sitting on this recipe for a good 30 years, and I just really want to share it with people because otherwise no one will ever know. And it's not that big of a deal. It's an altered Toll House recipe, cookie recipe, which I believe that was this cookie was invented in the late 1800s by some lady who just kind of threw some stuff together. She worked in a toll house, I believe is the story. So anyway, I'm just going to go over the ingredients one by one here and talk about techniques. So this is for people that have obviously cooked the cookies before. This isn't for just total beginners here. So bear with me here. Okay, so flour. Just use regular flour, all-purpose flour, baking soda, salt. Now here's where it starts getting a little bit tricky. Here it says this is the original recipe. But I know for a fact it used to say butter or shortening. So I've found that if you use all butter, the cookies are too buttery rich. And if you use shortening, they kind of taste like shortening. So we're going to use half butter. Always use real butter. Always use the best ingredients you can get. Never use margarine. So we're going to use half butter and half of this product right here, which is butter flavored Crisco, which kind of looks like margarine or something. You can also get it in tubs. It's a little bit more economical. And I've got a giant bag here. This is equivalent of 6 regular bags this size. Actually, this is a 10-ounce bag. The recipe calls for 12 ounce, and your normal Nestle Toll House bag will be 12 ounces. Now, these were on sale. That's why I got them, and this brand is really good. It gives you more of a, it's just a different chocolate taste, and it's more rich, I guess. Now, the mini chips, when you use mini chips, you're going to get more chocolate chips per cookie just because there's more mini chips in a bag. But you'll get a less pronounced chocolate flavor. And if you use the big chips, you're going to get more of a chocolate taste as you're biting into the large morsels. Okay, so this big bag was $9. This is at Smart and Final. This is the equivalent of 6 normal bags, and I know even when those are on sale, they're like $3 or something. Normal price might be $4, so and these don't really go bad easy. So, and I try to do this with everything, not just food stuff. You'll save a ton of money. Those Ghirardelli or Ghirardelli ones were on sale. That's why I got them, and they're good. So anyway, okay, now here we are to the sugar. And this is for a normal recipe. We're using 1 bag of chocolate chips, a 12-ounce bag. They're calling for 3/4 of a cup of each sugar. You're actually going to use half a cup of white sugar and a cup of brown sugar. Okay, so we're using more brown sugar. Now, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Always use real vanilla. Never use anything imitation. Because remember, we're trying to make the best cookies in the world, not the kind you had at school. Now this brand right here I just got, I think it was $18 for this bottle. I haven't tried it yet, but it's Madagascar Isle of Bourbon. So what all that means is in Madagascar there's an Isle of Bourbon, from what I've been told, and that's where the best vanilla comes from. So it's a little bit more than Schilling, not a whole lot more, and I've had other gourmet brands, and it does seem to make a difference, and I really do like using the high quality vanilla. Okay, now the next thing you're going to use is 2 large eggs. If you can use those range fed hen eggs or whatever, that might make a difference, might make it a little bit better. Okay, now here's an ingredient that I put in here that's not on there, and that is coconut, unsweetened coconut. Just a couple of pinches between your finger. It's kind of a less is more thing, but you will notice it in the cookies. Okay, now the next thing that we're coming to is if you put in nuts. So I've gotten these chopped pecans. It's the same price for chopped and not chopped. It is easier to put these in, but you never want to mix your your nuts in with your dough, because I always hated, when I was much younger, I always hated if I got a cookie and it had a walnut or some other nut against the pan and it's all burnt and scorched, and it just ruins the taste of the whole cookie. So just push your nuts in from the top into your dough. If you make a pan cookie, I just sprinkle them over and just push them down to where they're like flush with the surface level of the dough. That way they also don't fall out and stuff, but you can push them in deeper if you want. Okay, now what else? I believe, yes, it calls for 375 degree oven. Cook it at 365. That will give you a lot more wiggle room, because there's probably a 30 to 45 second window of a cookie being perfect and being overcooked. So anyway, I think that's about does it. I'm sorry it took so long to get through all this, but it's kind of important. It's kind of emotional to me in a way. I know it sounds kind of strange, but like I said, I worked on this recipe for years, and I think it's just a really, really good recipe. And I've had a lot of people, over the years say that's, those are the best chocolate chip cookies I've ever had. So anyway, I think that's all the tips and techniques I have for making the world's best chocolate chip cookies. Thanks for tuning in to Cooking with the Chief. This is a 3rd episode, and everybody have a good morning. Hit the theme music here, and I will see you in the next installment.